The wind howled across the endless prairie as dust rolled through the quiet ranch lands of the American West. Ethan Cole, a quiet but respected rancher, rode slowly along the dry fields on his chestnut horse. Life had made him a hard man. Years of loss, long winters, and lonely nights had carved deep lines into his face. People in the nearby town knew him as a man who kept to himself. One afternoon, Ethan arrived at the dusty trading post outside town. A small crowd had gathered around something unusual. Curious, he stepped closer. In the center of the crowd stood a young woman. Her clothes were worn and simple, but her eyes burned with a fierce, untamed spirit. Her long hair moved wildly in the wind, and she stared at the people around her like a trapped wolf surrounded by hunters. Some townsmen whispered that she had been living alone in the hills for years after losing her family. Others said she was too wild to live among people. Who will take responsibility for her? One of the men shouted. No one answered. The woman crossed her arms, clearly unwilling to beg anyone for help. The townspeople began treating her like a problem that needed solving. Ethan watched quietly. Something about her reminded him of himself, alone, misunderstood, surviving in a world that never showed much kindness. Without saying much, Ethan stepped forward. I'll take her to my ranch, he said calmly. The crowd murmured in surprise. Some laughed, warning him that no man had ever been able to control her stubborn nature. But Ethan wasn't trying to control her. The ride back to the ranch was silent. She rode beside him on a borrowed horse, keeping her distance as if ready to run at any moment. What's your name? Ethan finally asked. Clara, she replied quietly. Days passed slowly at the ranch. Clara kept to herself, helping with chores but never speaking much. She worked harder than anyone Ethan had ever seen, fixing fences, feeding horses, and riding across the fields like she had been born in the saddle. But she never truly relaxed. One evening, a violent storm rolled across the plains. Thunder cracked through the sky while strong winds threatened to tear apart the old barn doors. Ethan rushed outside to secure the horses, but one of them had broken free and ran toward the dark hills. Without hesitation, Clara mounted a horse and rode straight into the storm. Rain lashed across the land as lightning lit the sky. Ethan followed her tracks, worried she might never come back. Nearly an hour later, he saw a shadow riding through the storm. Clara returned with the runaway horse, soaked but calm, guiding the frightened animal like she had done it 1,000 times before. For the first time, Ethan saw something different in her eyes, not anger, not fear. Trust. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, the quiet ranch stopped feeling empty. Clara began laughing at